loves, welcome back to another episode of Disturbing Reasons to Be Afraid of the Dark. It's scary time. All that slime I did this weekend, it's time to jump right back into paranormal things. I am so excited. I've done a lot of research while I was doing the slime videos to get y'all as much information as I can. This is going to be very interesting. Today we're going to be talking about Bobby Mackey's Music World. For those of y'all that do not know about Bobby Mackey's, I will give y'all a brief history of why the place is so plagued with demonic entities and all that other good stuff. But if you do have extra time, go and look this up. This is very interesting and very compelling. There's a lot of people that have investigated. They even have live investigations where you could go and it's a group. You're not alone. You know, you know, there's comfort in numbers. So there's a lot of people that go, and then you could go with them. And there's professionals. There is an ordained exorcist there for the investigations, just in case, because it could get very rowdy, as I'm about to read to y'all. Now, I did get requests to do Madame Laurie, so I will be doing that soon. But first, I gotta finish what I was doing already, and then I'll go ahead and do Madame Laurie. And I have a request for Angola prison, but I already finished the research on that, so that will be shortly after my other story, after this one. I have a lot of things going on, so I have to keep them in order, because if I don't, I'm afraid I'll get lost, and I don't want people to think I'm not going to do their stories, because I am doing the research. Do not worry about it. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it, because like I said in my other videos, I can't do a long video because I'm doing this on my phone. So we're going to head and go get started, and if I have enough time, I will give you my own personal experience, not a Bobby Mackey's, just of a kind of a demonic entity, but I'll probably do that in a separate video tomorrow, because I probably won't have enough time, because this one's already probably going to be in 2 parts. So bear with me on it. I hope I'll have enough time, but I'm not completely sure, okay? But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I already lit my candle, so let's get it done. Okay, and this article was written by Dana Matthews. I did not write this. This I found on Bobby Mackey's Music World. She just did an article because she went and did a live investigation with Nick Groff. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. But yeah, she did an investigation with them, and it was a bunch of people, and this is their experiences. But first, I'm gonna read you the history behind Bobby Mackey's. Ask anyone with even a passing interest in the paranormal about Kentucky's most haunted locations, and there's a good chance they'll list Bobby Mackey's pretty close to the top. Over the years, the wilder Kentucky honky-tonk has been a place to catch some authentic country music, do a little dancing, and very likely get the living hell scared out of you. I'm so sorry. Jenny just moved the thing. She bounced into it, and yeah, that was pretty funny. So let me fix that right quick. Okay, but she wants to join us. She's getting so big. Mwah. My baby. Okay. Where was I? And very likely get the living hell scared out of you. Bobby Mackey's Music World has become a thing of legend. As for American hauntings are concerned, thanks in part to television shows like Ghost Adventures and Ghost Hunters, not to mention the countless paranormal investigators who spent hours exploring the nightclub's dark corners in search of evidence of the other side. Now it's our turn. There's always been a lot of argument as to who exactly the ghost haunting Bobby Mackey's might be. But then, what's a good ghost story without a bit of speculation, right? In case you're unfamiliar with the spooky tales that emanate from Kentucky's very own portal to hell, we'll start with the short history lesson. The bloody portal to hell. Long before it was ever billed as the most haunted nightclub in America, Bobby Mackey's already had a history drenched in blood, literally. Built in the 1850s, the buildings originally served as of the busiest slaughterhouses in northern Kentucky. Today, the basement is the only portion of Bobby Mackey's that exists during its run as a slaughterhouse, but it's also one of the reasons that the club is so infamous. In the center of the basement is a semi-sealed well where the freshly spilled blood of slain animals once drained into the earth. According to legend, this bloody pit became the focal for local occultists, Satanists, and ritual magicians, who would use the dark energy of the portal for many years after slaughterhouses closed its doors in the 1890s. The headless ghost of Pearl Bryan. Through its many incarnations as a slaughterhouse, mobbed in and country music joint, Bobby Mackey's has been seen its fair share of deaths, murders, and even demonic possession. But it's really the restless spirits that have given the nightclub its status as a haunted hotspot. One of the most famous ghosts is that of Pearl Bryan, a 22-year-old woman who was murdered in 1896. Pearl was the daughter of a wealthy local farmer, and because of that, had plenty of suitors to choose from. Unfortunately, she took a liking to Scott Jackson, student at the Ohio College of Dental Surgery in Cincinnati. As it happens, Jackson was allegedly a card-carrying member of one of the most mysterious occult groups mentioned earlier. Eventually, Pearl became pregnant, and the unwed couple planned a trip to Cincinnati for an abortion, but things didn't go as planned. Jackson and his roommate, Alonzo Walling, decided that as dentists, they were well versed enough in human anatomy to perform the procedure themselves. After dosing Pearl up with a hefty amount of cocaine, the two men crudely probed her with dental tools for hours. When they became aware that the procedure had been botched, they hauled the murdered, frightened girl to Fort Thomas, where she was murdered, and her body was dumped 2 miles from the abandoned slaughterhouse. Well, part of her body anyway. According to legend, Pearl's head, which had been completely removed so as not to identify her, was used to perform satanic rites inside the same building where people now line dance to Nelly's hit song Country Grammar. Both men eventually caught and sentenced to hang in Newport in 1887. How much time? Okay, we have time for one more. Johanna, the ghost immortalized in song. By the 1820s, Bobby Mackey's had become the favorite speakeasy for Cincinnati mobsters to congregate, but it wasn't until the 50s when it became a nightclub called the Latin Quarter that the property added another spirit to its roster. Johanna was said to be a dance hall girl performing at the Latin Quarter, and she was one of the most loved too, at least until she killed herself in the basement dressing room. As the story goes, Johanna had fallen in love with the local singer Robert Randall and eventually became pregnant with his child. When her father, who was the owner of the Latin Quarter, discovered the secret, he called in some favors with a few shady characters and had Randall killed. Distraught, Johanna poisoned her father and took her own life. To date, the spirit of Johanna is one of the most active ghosts haunting Bobby Mackey's. In fact, we had our own experience with Johanna during an investigation last year. Okay. I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to have to stop, and then I'll do another video of their accounts during their investigation. Okay. Week in the Weird Investigators, The Portal to Hell. Okay, I think this is a story. Hold on, give me a second. Yes, it is. Oh my god, I ain't gonna have enough room for this. Well, I might. I'm gonna try. Even if you're there for a night of bull riding and honky-tonk fun, the paranormal activity at Bobby Mackey's is pretty much unavoidable. Rest assured, that's a pretty good chance you're going to bump into one of the residents' ghosts. Most often reported are the feelings of phantom fingers running across the arm, the faint mumbles of disembodied voices, and mysterious photo anomalies. During our own investigation, we even captured what ended up being one of the clearest and most chilling EVPs I've ever heard. While leading us into the basement, Nick Groff, creator of the Travel Channel series Ghost Adventures and star of Destination America's upcoming Paranormal Lockdown, asked the spirit of Johanna if she enjoyed the music, which for anyone who's ever been to Bobby Mackey's knows is a nightly occurrence. Having been the daughter of a club owner and the lover of a singer, it's safe to assume that Johanna was surrounded by music for most of her life. Moments after Nick asks the question, a very clear, very distinctive southern female voice chimes in on the recorder and answers, "I love when the band plays." We were, suffice to say, we were blown away by the response. But that wasn't the only strange thing to happen that night. Near the end of the evening, a small group, including myself and the Groff, had gathered in one of the basement rooms. It was the room often attributed to activity blamed on the spirit of Scott Johnson himself, and many in our group reported feeling sick, lightheaded, and generally out of the sorts the longer they remained in it. We've been having so much good luck with EVPs that night, Nick decided to do another session, this time with the intentions of making contacts with Jackson himself. As we were sitting quietly in the dim room, I watched as out of nowhere the man I was standing behind was violently shoved past me. His left shoulder lurched back first, followed by the rest of his body, until he was pressed up against the wall behind me. No one had pushed him, no one living anyway. The rest of the startled group quickly turned to see the terrified man against the wall, whose face had turned completely white. He nervously turned the room that he had felt a strong force on his shoulder before being aggressively slammed into the wall. His girlfriend, who was now visibly upset, began to cry, and as the uneasy feeling washed over the group, we decided to leave the area. We've been asking to make contact with the man who was hung by very violently murdering his girlfriend, so it wasn't out of the question to think he would be just as violently in the afterlife. What I didn't realize at the time was that just to the left of me, a group of young men who'd attended the previous Ghost Adventures visit to Bobby Mackey's year before had also been the recipients of a negative experience themselves, and this time decided to come prepared with a vial of holy water. Just before our experience had been violently shoved, the group of young men had been spraying the wall with holy water. That is crazy. I love this experience because they do this all the time. They do live investigations, and it's so cool. I would love to go to one, but it's way in Kentucky, and no funds for that. No. YouTube don't pay me yet. I don't have 100 subscribers. So please subscribe if you're watching this. I would love to start making this a career. I am trying my best. It's really hard, but I'm really good at it. So thank y'all for watching. Make sure you'll stay tuned. I'll try to do another video today for y'all. So please stay tuned. And remember, my friends, stay scared, Nikki Loose.